Hey guys, this is Michael. This is going to be a follow-up to the last video I made where I discussed some of the signs that you may be an empath. So in this video, we're going to discuss certain tools you can use, certain things you can do to make being an empath easier for you. I know that this experience in general can be chaotic when we feel and sense everything around us at all times. So these are just going to be some things you can do to make being an empath easier for you. And even if you're not an empath, if you have some anxiety, if you're stressed out about one thing or the other, or for anyone really that's going through difficult times at the moment, this is for you as well. So let's get into it. Take a moment to evaluate your closest friendships, the people who you keep around you, the people that you hang out with, family members, anyone you interact with on a daily basis, even if it's on social media, if it's just placeholder people that you kind of just keep around just to fulfill something within you that you feel like you're getting from that person. Focus in on why this person is a part of your life. And know that in certain circumstances, if you live with family or if you have to go into a job every day, that this is something that is kind of out of your control. But even within those situations, there are still certain things that you can do to not have too many people kind of invade your space and invade your energy. As an empath, you're going to meet a lot of people who confide in you, who feel comfortable around you, who want to tell you what they're going through every day, and that can be very healing for the other person. But for the empath, it can leave us feeling very drained, very tense. We're picking up their feelings, we're picking up what they're going through as well. It's always them just telling you what they're going through, but they rarely step back and take a moment to ask, how are you? How are you doing? Are you okay? What are you going through? You may not even realize what's happening in this process, but for an empath, we feel it so deeply. They get their energy from you, and they'll walk away feeling so recharged, so energized. You gave them a different way of seeing things. You gave them some hope, and now they're on a whole nother level. Like, they're up here, and then we're left feeling drained and tired and exhausted, and we just want to get away from everyone because of it. And that's how that transaction can usually go. And unless you set up some boundaries as an empath, you're going to continue to feel drained, you're going to continue to feel exhausted and tired and emotionally, spiritually, physically weak, because your boundaries aren't strong and you're allowing everyone and anyone to kind of come into your space. So please evaluate who you keep in your circle. Clean your space. For an empath, your environment and your space is going to 100% affect how you feel, how you move day to day, what you do, what you don't do, especially where you rest your head every night. The way most people keep their environment is usually a reflection of their state of consciousness, their state of being. If you have a closet full of things that you haven't worn in years or ever, donate it. If you've pushed a million things under your bed just so it's out of sight, out of mind, go through all that stuff and get rid of certain things that you don't want. Dust your room, sweep, mop, get organized. The more clutter you have in your space, the more tense you'll feel. You're not only going to be disorganized in your environment, but you're going to feel mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually disorganized as well. The cleaner your space is, the cleaner your mind is. Meditation. So meditation is such an imperative step, not only in being an empath, but just for anyone who has any sort of stress or anxiety or just doesn't feel at peace with their day-to-day lives. Meditation is something that is gonna help you with so many different areas of your life, and it's gonna happen in a way that you don't even realize it's happening over time. A lot of people feel like, oh, I can't meditate, like I don't know how to not think of anything or just sit there and have no thoughts. But that isn't always what meditation is about. There are so many different ways of how you can meditate. If you want to stare at a candle for 10 minutes, if you want to sit in a chair with your back straight, if you want to do a handstand against a wall, if you want to do a bubble bath and just sit in there for 5 or 10 minutes, listening to some music, go for it. There's breath work you can do. Do what feels comfortable for you. Not every type of meditation is gonna work for everyone. So really try to commit about 5 to 10 minutes. If you're just starting out, you don't have to do a whole hour-long session of a meditation. Over time, you're gonna notice that you just feel more at ease, in your day-to-day life. The way you kind of handle things every day and interact with people every day is gonna change. Even your sleep patterns may get better. You might just feel better overall. Cleansing and protection. Now, cleansing and protection is also one of the things that will definitely make a huge difference in not only an empath's experience, but just anyone who's feeling like they're just taking on a lot of people's energy, and just to kind of cleanse the energy that we may absorb and pick up in our day-to-day lives. There's so many things you can use to cleanse yourself. Sage is one of my personal favorites to just kind of clear any negative energy that may be around you in your space. Palo Santo is also really great for that. I personally like to use Palo Santo to kind of just make the space more peaceful. I'll usually light Palo Santo after the sage as well. And Florida water is really good too. You can usually find some Florida water at a Botanica, or sometimes they sell it at like a discount store, or you can definitely find it online. And with the Florida water, you can kind of just like rub it in your hand and just pass it over your aura. And what I love to do personally with Florida water is I'll put it in a little bottled spray, and I'll just like spray it in my space, and sometimes just around me before I go to bed. Or if I'm feeling like super heavy that day, I'll just spray a little bit over myself as well. Crystals are also something that I started using more so at the beginning of my spiritual journey. My favorite crystals are probably amethyst, just to bring some tranquility to the space, and black tourmaline is super powerful when it comes to kind of just protecting you from any negative energy that may be coming your way, whether it's from people or from your environment. Black tourmaline, especially as a necklace, or even if you want to use it as a bracelet as well, is super powerful. Stop viewing being an empath as a curse, and view it as something that you can use to help others. So a lot of empaths might feel like, why am I going through this? Why did I have to be born with this ability to feel others so strongly? How do I get rid of this? How do I turn this off? The reality is that you were placed here with this gift for a reason. I think as an empath, you can feel very overwhelmed a lot of the times, and you might feel like things are just happening to you. But if you step into your power as an empath, you can make so many changes, not only with the people that you come into direct contact with, but that also causes a chain reaction into the people that they interact with as well. Get creative. When I was in college, there was a semester where I did dance and acting, and that was probably my favorite semester in my whole college experience. It was just something that I genuinely enjoyed doing, better than just sitting in a class watching a professor speak and reading kind of a dusty old textbook. From my experience, a lot of empaths are artists and singers and dancers and people who like to draw, and just individuals who express themselves in ways that aren't always verbal. It comes off a little more powerful than sometimes words just aren't enough. Spend time in nature. Spending time in nature for an empath is so crucial. It's such a huge part of who we are, and just being in nature just brings us such peace. About 3 or 4 years ago, I spent my birthday in the rainforest in Puerto Rico. That was probably my favorite birthday I ever spent in comparison to any bar that I went to or any club that I may have spent my birthday in years prior. I was just in such a state of peace, and nothing could match what I experienced that day. I was ready to sleep there overnight. Sitting on a rock just by a waterfall, listening to the frogs, listening to the birds, was an experience that I just could never forget, and it was such a stepping stone into my healing process that I didn't know I needed at the time as an empath. So go out in nature, go put your feet in some grass, go sit under a tree, go hiking, just anything you can do. It's just so important. monitor your thoughts and emotions. Me personally, doing a self check-in every day to make sure what I'm feeling is mine or someone else's is so crucial. There would be times where I would be out and about, I'd be on the train, and I would just like start crying, and I didn't know why. In the beginning, I never took the time to kind of just sit with myself and ask, like, where are these feelings coming from? Is this mine or is this someone else's that I picked up? That made a huge difference in trying to figure out if I felt this way because of myself or if it was someone else's emotions that I was picking up on and kind of taking on as myself. These are certain things that a lot of empaths have to be aware of and kind of do almost on a day-to-day basis, because it's so easy to feel like you're on this level for in one moment, and then the next moment like you feel like you're down in the gutter and you don't know why. Like, why am I feeling this way? Like, there's no explanation for it. But if you take a step back and kind of analyze what you've been doing or where you were, who you were around, there are other explanations for why you might be feeling the way you are. Visualization. So as empaths, we love our alone time. We love just spending time with ourselves and just reflecting on our day-to-day lives, like what we're doing, what we want to do, and things that are happening to us and our relationships. And there are times that we do have to be social, and we have to be among other people that may not be as in tune with their energy as we are. And we kind of have to learn a few ways how to cope with that. Before I leave my home, I visualize like a shield around me. And the shield could be any color you want it to be. It can look however you want it to be. It can be whatever you want it to be. But it's just a shield that you imagine, that you envision in your mind, that's around you, that's protecting you from any energy that is unwanted, that is negative, that does not serve you. And you just carry that with you when you're in situations that may seem a little too intense for you, or just any social interaction that you're kind of put in that you maybe weren't expecting. You can energetically feel it around you, not just see it in your mind, but you can feel it around you. And no energy is going to penetrate it unless you want it to. Release any emotions that are trapped within your body. So as an empath, all day, every day, we're picking up different emotions and energies from different people, and that can actually get stuck in different parts of your body and may come up as pain or discomfort, whether it's on your shoulders or it's like behind your neck or your lower back. So you need to find ways to actually release this energy. There are a lot of different things that you can do, such as acupuncture, massage therapy. There have been times where I've gone into a massage therapy session and I didn't say a word to the therapist about like the knot I felt in my back or on my arm or just in certain parts of my body. And as they were scanning my body, they would literally stop in the areas where I felt pain and discomfort, and they were just like start working on it, just doing what they got to do just to like release that, to get it out. And I just felt amazing afterwards, whether it was acupuncture, massage therapy, or Reiki. Getting off of that table took time because I just felt so at ease. I just felt so comfortable and relaxed, and they just did what they had to do, and it was great. So you have to find ways to release those blockages that are within you. If you're not going to do that yourself, you need to find other ways of getting that done that can just make your physical body just feel more at ease than it was before. And of course, before you do any of these things, you definitely want to consult with your physician just to make sure that this is something that your body is able to handle and that it's something that will benefit you as well. News. Turn off your TV. Literally turn off your television. Just don't watch the news every day. If you really pay attention to what's happening in the news, like, you'll notice that it's kind of like the same stories on repeat over and over and over again. Like, what is their objective? What are they really trying to show you? What is the message that they're really getting across? And how is that serving you? It's rare that something that you see in the news is gonna actually make you feel like uplifted and happy and positive positive, and I would say that a lot of it is just like negativity and just showcasing all the bad that's happening in the world. Making a decision to stop keeping up with the news has made such a difference in my day-to-day life and how I felt overall, because I wasn't exposing myself to all that toxic energy and all that negativity. And it's just something that I didn't feel like I needed to expose myself every day. Even without watching the news, I still can get a sense of what's happening in the world from what people tell me, conversations that I hear, and just going online. You still can get a sense of what's happening. You're not going to be left out of the loop. You'll still find out what's happening one way or the other, whether it's through social media or through a coworker or a friend. It's just not something that you really need to expose yourself to every single day, especially if you're highly sensitive or an empath. Diet. All I'm gonna say about food is just please pay attention to how you feel after you eat certain meals and how your body reacts to it, and just go from there. Please like, subscribe, share this video, share your comments down below as well. I want to hear from you. Are these things that you've been doing in your day-to-day life? Are these things that you've been curious about? What do you do every day to make this whole experience a whole lot easier for you?